bloody fantastic.
Hey, hello everybody, my name is Goodboy and welcome to a video on how to counter Mars. Mars has made it onto the scene. He already is ridiculously overpowered. He's gaining a 2% win rate every day, and Valve, Ice Frog is going to have to do an emergency nerf on him soon because he's ridiculously good. And as people simply learn how to play the hero and level up, this guy is going to be dominant in the meta until someone takes him off the boil. But is he invincible? No. And we now have an opportunity to look at his weaknesses and counter him. Before we begin the video though, as always, like, subscribe, share, and of course hit that glorious notification bell. So in order to understand Mars, let's look at his strengths and weaknesses. So first off, start with strengths. He has very high physical damage resist, courtesy of Bulwark. Bulwark, from a front point of view, can block up to 70% physical damage. That makes him easily one of the best offlaners right now, and probably will get nerfed. But anyway. His ultimate ability is an excellent teamfight disabler, and in conjunction with certain other heroes and their combos, so for example, just Monkey King as a standout example, you are trapped in this arena of doom where they beat you. So that's pretty insane. Output, courtesy of God's Rebuke, and not to mention he has True Strike. He also has an exceptional disable, courtesy of that rather fantastic Spear of Mars. So all in all, he has a lot of really great standout positive things that makes him an exceptional tanky nuker, initiator, and disabler. And oh boy, sure is. But he is not invincible, and here are some of his weaknesses. 1. He has a tiny mana pool. It's very, very easy for him to run out of mana and not being able to use any of his spells. Which brings us on to the next one. He's pretty spell dependent. Besides Bulwark, which only really stops him from taking direct physical damage from a certain direction, he doesn't actually, all his abilities are spells. So silence means that he struggles to initiate or do anything. He is kiteable, although his talents have helped him make him less kiteable, but nonetheless, successive slows will take him down and make him difficult for him to do what he wants to do. And while his ultimate is strong, it isn't exactly Enigma's black hole, which is basically insta-death in any massive AoE nuke damage. So his ultimate is quite comfortable to escape if you have the right kind of itemization or abilities. So first off, let's talk about heroes that Mars counters pretty well. So the first class of heroes are high physical damage resistance. That's one of his attributes, and heroes that dish out high physical damage but are kind of squished themselves are generally going to struggle, well, A, to kill him, and then B, to resist actually his damage. So for example, God's Rebuke. So heroes like Clinks or Drow, for example, are kind of squishy, and while they like to dish out a lot of damage, they can't take it back. He will resist their physical damage and then go ahead and then smash them in the face. So great heroes for him to deal with quite nicely. Also heroes that he can outfight. Again, this is mainly due to the Bulwark ability, tend to also struggle against him. So Legion Commander, for example, really struggles to fight him because she forces him to face him, and then while he's faced in Legion Commander, his Bulwark will block the vast majority of her damage. Vis-a-vis, very, very difficult for Legion Commander to fight Mars at all. A very strong counter. And it's a similar story for Lifestealer as well. Because you're blocking so much of his damage, he's probably never actually going to do any kind of successive damage. It's a little bit true also for Ursa, but do bear in mind that Ursa has Fury Swipes. And so a long, drawn-out fight may not go in his favour. Evasion heroes also struggle against Mars for the very simple reason that he obviously has his True Strike. So Phantom Assassin is most hard countered by him. Troll and also Wind Ranger, who depend on or like to use evasion, also tend to struggle against him. And any evasion items are not going to be that great in terms of resisting him. Multi-unit heroes also really struggle with God's Rebuke because of the massive, AoE damage that it does. So Broodmother and Nature's Prophet also collapse. So generally speaking, if you're thinking about picking those heroes into Mars who hasn't been banned in your game and has been first picked by somebody, don't do it. In terms of heroes that kick his ass a little bit, there are, well, several. So first off, heroes that use break. So the number one, by far and easily the best counter to Mars right now, is Viper. So Viper's Nether Toxin, of course, creates a break. Not to mention he can be slowed and stuck in it for ages, and so all of the magic, and also Viper mainly does magic damage anyway, or depending on your build, mainly does magic damage. So in conjunction with all that magic damage, then the fact that physical damage is coming through is a problem. It's a similar story with Nyx as well, who can break the target. High magic damage also is a big problem for the guy. While he resists a lot of physical damage depending on the direction, magic damage is irrelevant. So heroes like Outward Devourer, with his arcane abilities, is just silly. And then Necrophos as well is a similar story. And bear in mind, Necrophos shreds tanks. Necrophos is a great counter to do with Mars, who happens to be one of the most popular heroes in the meta with one of the best win rates. Slow heroes are also going to fare really well against Mars. So once again, Viper, with his successive slows, can kite the guy really easily, but also Venomancer, with his continuous magic damage poison and his slow, are great at messing the guy up badly. Because of his limited mana pool, using heroes that have exceptional mana burn or silence are going to work very, very nicely. So Phantom Lancer, for example, and yes, fine, God's Rebuke can indeed clear waves of illusions, but PL tends to spam a lot of them, and in that time he burns all the mana. So in the end, all that Mars can do is run. Anti-Mage is a similar thing, not to mention he also has an escape mechanism. And then Ricky can not only carries a diffusal blade, so he'll burn his mana while also silencing Mars. So Ricky is a particularly good counter, as he also attacks from the back generally and can easily put himself at the back of Mars. So Ricky's probably one of the best counters, particularly once he's got his diffusal blade. And then finally, escape heroes are able to resist his ultimate. So heroes like Spectre, Puck, Slark, Pangolier, to name a few, and I mentioned it before, but I'll mention them again, Anti-Mage, all tend to do pretty well at escaping one way or another using their different abilities. And if you can escape from his ultimate, then it kind of makes it semi-redundant. In terms of counter items, naturally, if you're not running any of those heroes, and you've not decided to, run somebody else that does similar stuff, then naturally, of course, you can always resort to itemization. So in terms of resisting his physical damage, or blocking his damage, and you're a support, a Ghost Scepter works pretty well. But if you're more of a carry inclined hero, then Assault Cuirass, Shiva's Guard, and Solar Cuirass are all very good at resisting a lot of the physical damage that the guy smashes out. Escape mechanisms are actually pretty good, and in particular, and this may sound funny, it's actually BKB. BKB will allow you to simply walk out of his Arena of Doom. So by simply rushing a BKB, not only are you going to eliminate the ability for his stupid spear, the Spear of Mars, from being able to impale you or damage you, you're also going to be able to just walk out his ultimate. So rushing a BKB or getting it as quickly as possible is probably going to be one of your best options to actually resist the guy if he's giving you a hard time. You can also use a Blink Dagger, but remember, of course, Blink Dagger can easily be disabled, so or desactivated. So you have to get your timings right. But if he activates it and you haven't got your blink on cooldown, it won't damage you unless you go right next to the walls. Vis-a-vis, you can blink straight out of it, and that can actually work pretty nicely as well. Force Staff, on the other hand, will just keep you smashing you into the walls, and you'll take lots of damage, so don't do that. The other option, of course, is the Silence Mana Burn. So again, I mean, the Scythe of Device is a type of disable that is like Silence, as it were. That works, but of course, Diffusal Blade and Orchid Malevolence can work pretty nicely. The Diffusal Blade is definitely better than the Orchid. Because you got to remember, even with Silence, Bulwark still works. So if you're still gonna dish out lots of physical damage, it's not that great. But the Diffusal Blade, on the other hand, awesome, and anything like that will work really well. Okay, everybody. Well, that's pretty much how you counter Mars and how you should draft against him. Remember, of course, you can always ban, and I'm seeing him getting, everyone's trying to ban him in games anyway. But when you do see him, take that general approach, that should give you pretty good odds against the guy. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, and as always, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, and click that glorious notification bell. Stay tuned for more stuff coming soon. And of course, if you want to check out some of my sponsors in the comments, I'd really appreciate that. Helps my channel stay afloat. And also, I can get you cool free stuff, including Arcanas. Thanks so much, and goodbye.